Shabbat Shalom.
Page 10.
Maya ve'ayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya ve'ayom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya ve'ayom. Shabbat Shalom. This will be a favorite.
This is a favorite no matter how old you are. This is my fifth time doing it today. Here we go. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. You ready? Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, woo, Shabbat Shalom, woo, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Bring it home, Joyce. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Nobody's too old to bim bam, is that correct? The worst or the best is when you hear this. Do you know what that is? Yeah, so it's a dinosaur knocking at the door. That's my biggest fan. Okay, we are going to welcome each other to Shabbat. Just turn around next to you, behind you, say Shabbat Shalom. Tag good Shabbat Shalom. Yes, Eliana, Shabbat Shalom to you. You might notice that our somewhat 50-plus crowd has tilted slightly younger tonight as we welcome our pre-KK, first, second, and third graders to lead Shabbat. They are exactly where they are supposed to be in their Hebrew learning, and so they'll be up for very select prayers. But it is wonderful to have all of their families, grandparents, and aunts and uncles and parents here with us. So we are going to sing Hine Matov. I'd like to call all of the kids up here to the bima and their teachers to help chorale, and Miss Kelly to help chorale. And I invite the congregation to stay on page 10 for the singing of Hine Matov. It's really good to be together, right in front of the Kiddush cup and the candles. Okay. Okay.
Are y'all ready?
We are, guys, you ready? Thumbs up, you ready? Remember, we're leading the congregation, not performing, right? Okay. Hine Matov. Real loud.
Hine Matov, u'manayim shevet achim ka'hanyan. Hine Matov, u'manayim shevet achim ka'hanyan. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine Matov, u'manayim shevet achim ka'hanyan. Hine Matov,
U'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. So I'm going to ask you all to turn around if you are on the bima as we light the candles. I invite the congregation to turn to page 2.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehat likner shel Shabbat.
Now as we lift the Kiddush cup, go ahead and lift up your favorite cups. We join together.
Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam borei Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom tehillah lemikra'e kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'charta leotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha e'ava uvratzon hinhaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat.
At the end, Leah, the end. We continue now on page 20 with the singing of Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Yishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, L'shem tiferet v'letchila. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela. Verse 2. Shofrat Shabbat, Lechu v'ne'elcha, Ki mekor ha'bracha, V'rosh mikedem nesucha, Sof ha'aseh v'machshava techila. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela. We rise and face the back. Verse 9. Gam besimcha u'bzola, be seated. In a moment, you'll have to stand up again, but I'll give you time to sit down. In a moment, we will join together in our call to worship, the Baruch Hu. Each week, our religious school students at this age come on Sundays, and one of the main goals is actually not Hebrew acquisition. It's building community. And so as you look around this room and you see the generations of families, not only who are putting their children in school, but the grandparents that have come before them, some of those interfaith families that have chosen to raise their kids Jewish and both parents are here and grandparents are here, some of those families that choose that the Jewish journey is the right one for values is why their children are here. Whatever the reason, this is their community and this is our community. And so in a moment when we join in our call to worship, it's okay. Malcolm's little sister's upset. That's okay. In a moment when we come together for our call to worship, I remind each one of us that we are each here for possibly a very different reason. Tonight might be respite from what we're dealing with. Tonight might be the whole reason that we had the week in front of us. Independent of what it is, if you find the prayer book and the readings moving, stick to it. And if you want to close your prayer book and just speak the words of your own heart or sit in fellowship with one another, you're doing the right thing there too. Anything in between, that's also what it's about. So I ask that you drop any expectations for what tonight looks like or feels like and just be present, because truly Judaism is about community, and that is why so many of us are here. I want to go ahead and thank Joyce Liu for leading us on the piano, as well as Stephen Miller on the bass. I want to thank Gary for setting everything up and making sure that as Joe is onboarded, that Joe knows how to set everything up. I want to thank our St. Pete police officer who is here this evening, and I hope you'll do the same. God forbid we need exits. They're behind me on both sides of the bima, as well as in the back of the sanctuary on both sides. I ask that you turn your phones to vibrate and that you turn to page 28. Please rise if you're able as we join in the words of the Baruch Hu. You may be seated. We turn in our prayer books to page 30 as we interpretively understand the prayer Ma'ariv Aravim with Roll into Dark.
Roll into dark, roll into night. Night becomes day and day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into night. Night becomes day and day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech,
In a few hours, the sun will set. And I remember a few months ago saying, at 4:30 when it got dark, how excited I would be for this moment. But I can imagine for Adam and Eve in the Torah, the first night going to sleep was pretty scary. And I can imagine for a lot of our congregants in this space, not just the kids, sometimes going to sleep also has big feelings associated with it. Letting go of control, having to relax, potentially shutting even half of the tabs that are open in your mind might be pretty frightening. And so that prayer asks for God to protect us as we begin to settle in for the evening. And so tonight, I ask that as you go home or wherever you are sleeping, wherever you lay your head, I want you to take a breath and to remember right now how much it feels great to be next to people you love. So take a deep breath in and let it out. And maybe put your arms around one another and give a squeeze. And if you don't know the person, ask for some permission. But the fact is that even if we fall asleep alone, that feeling, that hug, that's what the Hebrew just talked about. God stretching God's arms around us and holding us close. So whether you speak Hebrew or not, whether you even can read English or not, you know what that hug feels like. And that's the part of the service that we're at right now. So I want to call up our youngest congregants to lead us in the words of the Shema. So I'm going to call you guys back up to the front of the bima. And in the congregation, we turn to pages 34 and 35. And you can rise if you're able. Let's wait till everyone's up here. And you guys are going to lead us, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu
You may be seated. Thank you, guys. I would like to have the congregation turn to page 36. I would like to call up Frankie and Julia and Felicity to lead us together with the congregation in the reading of the Ve'ahavta. Pretty good view from up here. Come on up. Again, we're on page 36. How you doing? Sorry about your grandpa, buddy. I'll do it with you. Do the best you can. Come right in. Frankie's going to be in front of the mic because he had his bar mitzvah. Hey, come on up, Felicity. So we join together on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת ושוכנך ובקיימך, ושרתם מאוד עליך, והיו נותנות בג'נך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We continue now with the singing of Mi Chamocha on page 40.
Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you,
Continue on page 44 with a song celebrating Shabbat as we join together in the singing of Vishamru.
Veshamru,
Bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru Bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
Beni uvein Bnei Israel ohoti le'olam.
Veshamru Bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz.
Veshamru Bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
Uvayom hashvi'i nafesh sha'avat va'ina afash
Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. We turn as a congregation to page 46. I invite you to all please rise if you are able as we join in the words of the Amidah.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imoteinu. Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei HaKol, Ve'zocher Hasdei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'nehem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Gozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah rav le'oshia, Morid hata'al, Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mekaye hakol berakamim rabim, Shohomech noflim verofei holim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar michamocha ba'el gevurot ulmido melach melech memit umechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekayeh ha'akol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yachaluch asela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh. Please be seated.
Before we come to our moment of gratitude, we continue the counting of the Omer, the counting between the days of second night Passover, that was a Michigan accent, second night Passover, and receiving the Torah at Mount Sinai on Shavuot. And so we say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al tzfirat ha'omer. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who has sanctified us with your commandments and commanded us concerning the counting of the Omer. Tonight, Friday, April the 17th, is the 15th day of the counting of the Omer. Amen. We continue now on page 58 with our moments of gratitude. There should be so much gratitude just looking around this room, but if you'd like to share what you're grateful for out loud, I hope that you'll raise your hand and do so we can all participate in those moments. Who's behind Charlie? Frank. Grateful for his family. Yes, please. Grateful for being adopted. Absolutely. Yes. Thank God. She's grateful for the love and support of her mom and dad and sister and community for helping her through her cancer. Absolutely. Yes, kids. Gideon's going to be 31 in a couple of weeks. Exciting. Ted cheered for you. Yes, please, Aves. Shocker. I am grateful for my sister. I love it. It's just as meaningful, even though Rabbi said shocker. I just love how much you love Zoe. I see a Duranian, I think, with a hand up. Is that true? Who? Oh, Malcolm, did you have something? No? Oh, you just got voluntold by Leah Duranian behind you. Whoa, you get her back. Yeah. Wow. 53rd wedding anniversary. Mazel tov. Congratulations. Yes. That's awesome. Grateful to her son-in-law for helping to raise 2 Jewish grandchildren. Yes. Uh-huh. So Arlie shared that they are grateful that their first grade class is doing excellent tonight in their leading, not performing, and that Arlie will return again next year as a first grade teacher. And also that after how many weeks?
20 weeks.
20 weeks, her parents finally have electricity after the storm. Fire, I mean, right after the storm had happened, the fire. Oh, God, I'm so grateful that they're not in that situation again. Yes, Jules? Tomorrow is Melanie's birthday. Her mom was what she said, but I was using her government name. Yes. Oh, Mazel Tov. Grateful for finally marrying the love of his life. I saw online. That was pretty exciting. Congratulations, guys. Yes, Brian. Oh, yes, ma'am. Excuse me. Yeah. Hello. Do you want to tell your mom and she'll tell me, or you want to say it out loud? Grateful for what? Family. Yep. That's awesome. Yes, Bonet. So the Nifty Over 50 went on the Jews cruise last week, as I like to call it, and got very tan, and I'm very jealous, but they had a great time, and it was wonderful to watch you guys just celebrate being a community somewhere else and come back and still have that time together. So 3 more years, guys, I'm joining you. Can't wait. Yes, Leah? Grateful for Temple? That's pretty awesome, Leah. That's awesome. Anyone else that want to say it out loud? Yes, please. Friends and family, and what was the last one? Dog. Good one. Yeah. Yes, Bruce.
Our whole little group here is enormously grateful for the younger influence here tonight.
So the back of the bus crew that doesn't want to get in trouble during services are grateful that there is a younger influence here tonight. And that is awesome to have more people in the congregation that fill different parts of this demographic. Avery and Frank, you guys decide. What are you going to say? Abe, what did you want to say? That her classmate is not sick anymore. That is wonderful. Frank? Grateful for friends. Who's grateful for friends? Yep. Okay, hands down. Madison? That your teacher's out of the hospital. No? What, Lyle? What? Teacher's husband. I was like, her husband is out of, the teacher's husband is out of the hospital. That's a wonderful thing to be grateful for. Yes. Yes, Leah. Oh, no. Now Leah's teacher's husband is in the hospital. Both. Guys, there's a lot to be grateful for. A lot of people in Oh, thank God. Leah shared they're okay. We have a lot of congregants in the hospital too, and what I'm so grateful for is how many congregants have stepped up to help all of those and visit with all of those and put meal trains together. I look forward to not only going myself, but also hearing the experiences that each of you have as you reach out to those who are in need of healing. And so we mark all those moments as holy by inviting God into them. And so we turn to page 58 and read the Chatimah, the Hebrew at the bottom, together. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulcha na'eh lehodot. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Amen. We continue now with a prayer of peace on the following page, page 60, the singing of Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We now turn our thoughts to those who are in need of healing, those of us in this congregation, in this room, those in our families and in this world. In a moment, I'll ask for the names of those who you're thinking about, but first, I offer these names of those we've been asked to share. We think of Henry Boffman, Janice Brady, Sarah Gastman, Terry Gilner, Barbara Haskell, Ellis Maldonado, Elliot Scher, Lance Lubin, Frida Marhi, and Louis Ortiz. We continue with Michael Buckholtz, Hillary Kavanaugh, Ron Foster, Jordana Fuller, James Oliff, Jerry Peters, Caden Riley, Stephen Rudin, Robert Shipley, Stan Silverberg, Jesse Turdan, Marcia Turkin, Matt Weitz, and Matthew Sternberg Yee. I ask you to include the names of people you're thinking about, whether you say them out loud or in your hearts, as my hand passes where you're seated. There are so many wonderful people in here that your voices will overlap each other. Please don't wait for your independent chance to be heard. This is for you to speak them into the world. If you need me to hear these names, please reach out to me privately. And for all those names said out loud and in our hearts, thank you. We turn to page 253 for the words of Misha Berach.
Misheberach Avotenu Mekor Abraha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach Imotenu Mekor Abraha Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We take a few moments for silent meditation. We'll join back together on page 62 in a few moments for the singing of Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
So this week we have a double Torah portion. Actually, how many of you saw my video this morning? Mike is the only one who's lying. It's a good job, Mike. No, I have been sick this week, so no video went out today. But this week's Torah portion is a double portion called Tazria Mitzora, and it actually was my senior sermon in rabbinical school, and I'll tell you why. No one else wanted it. And when I look at our demographic right now in the sanctuary, I'm going to let you know why we also don't usually assign it as a bar or bat mitzvah portion, and why I'm going to speak briefly about it tonight. But if you want to know more about it, you'll join me tomorrow morning for Torah study, because then we're getting into all the details. This week's Torah portion talks all about the stuff that comes out of our bodies. Yes. Yep, disgusting, I get it. But also supernatural. So not supernatural like aliens, like it's uber natural. But I wanted to talk about one specific thing tonight that I thought was very G-rated for our G-rated crew. And it has to do with the mistranslation of the word leprosy. Has anyone ever heard of this Torah portion connected with leprosy, or that there was leprosy in the Bible? So that's actually a mistranslation from the Hebrew. It was a skin condition, but it was not what we would call today as leprosy. It's not simply a physical illness. It was the body reflecting something from within. So the study of Kabbalah, which is another entry point within Judaism, teaches that Lashon Hara, which is negative speech when we talk poorly about each other, when we say bad things about each other, or when we decide that we're going to share some gossip, that is actually a cause of this disease. And so, I thought you were going to share something, and so we learn that unlike leprosy, sometimes what's inside us can cause things on the outside. And if you have ever been physically sick because you're anxious, thank you for the hand raising. I'll raise mine too, Leah. Yes, you didn't have to, but you know what I'm talking about. Our bodies, our minds work with our physical bodies. And that is what this week's Torah portion is about. So much so that when someone was struck with Tazria, they were sent outside of the village. Now imagine, in biblical times, that was probably the most upsetting thing to happen, to be isolated from the only people you know. But when it appeared and the person was taken outside the camp, they weren't asked, what did you do wrong? They weren't punished. They were asked to pause. And within that pause, they were asked to isolate. Now remember, if this isn't catchy in the way that we think of catchy, why are you isolating? They were asked to be still. And then they were asked to process. Can you imagine every time you felt an ailment, if you did those steps, to pause, to isolate, to be still, and to process? How many of you woke up this morning and said, my back hurts, it's because I'm old? Right? How many of you get up from a couch and you're like, ooh, there's 700 noises that come out, and you just write it off? How many of you get hot and you're like, it must be perimenopause? Just everything. Yes, thank you. We just run to those definitions, to those explanations, But in Torah, no. We're taught to think, what's going on inside of me here? What's going on inside of me here? And how is it coming out of my body? So I want you to think about what you're feeling right now. Just do a test, do a radar, do a span of your whole body right now. You do not need to share what's going on, but feel what you're feeling physically. And when you're done with that scan from head to toe, I want you to do a scan of your head and your heart. What are you thinking and what are you feeling? I want you to pause. I want you not to share this with the person next to you. In other words, isolate. I want you to be still. And I want you to process. Is there a chance that what you are physically feeling has something to do with what you're thinking and what your heart is feeling? Because in our lives, the body often speaks when the soul is trying to get our attention. Anxiety makes a lot of sense when a lion is chasing you. But God, it sucks when that's not happening and you're stuck in it. For a day, for a week, for years. What's your body telling you when you're anxious? What's your body telling you when you're fatigued? Not just that your kids are not napping, right? What's it telling you from the inside? And what's your body telling you when you feel disconnected? How many of you ever feel, you can vote or you don't have to, that you're kind of floating above yourself? You're kind of on autopilot. You're watching things happen. How many of you don't even remember the drive to Temple because you were somewhere else? Or the drive to work in the morning or carpool? These things are very real. They can be very scary, but they also might have more to do with what's going on the inside of us. Not that we need to go to the hospital, but maybe we need to process with friends, with each other, with loved ones, because very much our mind affects our bodies. So when we think about this week's Torah portion, and I think about the person who is isolated outside of the camp, it wasn't a doctor that sent them back. And frankly, it wasn't even a therapist, and Jews and myself very strongly believe in therapy. It was actually a Kohen, a priest, who would go to them and see, how you doing? And very often the answer was not necessarily anything other than, I've taken some time. So I want us to think about that, and that's where I'm going to end tonight before we go into what the next stuff is in this Torah portion. What you're feeling right now, if it's fatigue, anxiety, it can be mixed together with lots of feelings at the same time. Disconnection, joy, celebration. If you're feeling any of these things, is your body potentially acting it out as well? And if so, if you're like me, you are normal, but maybe you don't have to stick with that. So tomorrow morning, we have the opportunity to wake up fresh, please God, on Shabbat. The weather looks like it's going to be incredible tomorrow. For me, I can tell you going outside would help me reset, might help me feel a little more connected, a little less fatigued. For you, it might be poetry, it might be playing with your kids, but it might have to be carpool, and it might have to be going to a funeral, and it might have to be filing your taxes a few days late. But carve out that time to pause and to process, because everything is related. We're only one person in one body. And if we think about this week's Torah portion, we shouldn't punish ourselves for what we're feeling. We should take time to represent, to recognize that what we're feeling is normal, but that we still can continue to engage. Because when the person with Tazria went back to their community, they were celebrated for coming back. I'm not saying you'll get a party next week if you all of a sudden aren't fatigued, but I can imagine and have experienced that when anxiety lessens, when fatigue lessens, when disconnect allows you to reconnect again, it feels like a celebration. It feels like you're back in your own skin. And so I encourage each one of us to spend this Shabbat reminding ourselves that even Tazria was temporary, and that all we experience in life, we say, Gam ze yavor, this too shall pass. And so although I'm talking about some of the negatives, Gam ze yavor, sometimes the things that pass are the positive, and we have to remind ourselves they'll be back again soon. So I hope each one of us hear this in the way that we need to hear it, and can allow our bodies and our minds to align as we enter into Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We continue now with the singing of Shalom Aleichem on page, no?
Yeah.
On page 323.
And I love this because this is the Shmuel Brazil arrangement, and and it's wishing you peace. But I always love the beginning because it feels like a heartbeat. It goes like this.
Like a heartbeat.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon,
Mi melech malchei amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi melech malchei amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Shalom, Malachei Elyon,
Mi melech malchei amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Bohem l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon,
Mi melech Kadosh Baruch Hu.
Noahem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei
Elyonim, Melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu Mila Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Kamachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Mila Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Kamachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Mila Shalom,
Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyonim, Melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Seichem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Kamachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Kamachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hashalom, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
As we turn in our prayer books to page 282, I invite up the teachers of these wonderful students, Brian, Charlie, Levi, Arlie, and Miss Kelly, to open the ark. And I ask the congregation to please rise as we join in the words of Aleinu L'Shabeach.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'tet gedula l'der breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kamishprachot hadama, shalo samkalkenu kahem, vegoralenu kechol hamonam, Va'anaknu korim umishtakavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlahim hakadosh baruch hu. 287 V'ne'emar v'hai Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu. Bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo 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 echad.
You can be seated. We think of our loved ones, page 295. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. This week, we think of the following individuals with love: Gerald Francis Bolton, Tina Arkey, Joel Guerin. And we add to those names those whose anniversary of their passing fall at this Shabbat: Robert Abrams, Bella Auerbach, Julius Babbitt, Max Berger, Gary Bernstein, Cara Capiello, Judy Cohen, Mayor Kahns, Riva E. Danziger, Hattie Davis, Norma Dinnerstein, William Elkind, Edith Feldman, Sarah Fortunoff, William Gurrell, Irving Kramer, Edward Lawrence Kreis, Portia Lippa, Rose Morrison, David Raffenbender, David I. Rosenbleeth, Maurice Rothman, Marjorie Samuels, Gilbert Schlesinger, Catherine Schulhoff, Hannah Shapiro, Rhea Schultz, Ruth L. Siegel, Elsie Thayer, Beulah Temko Teipel, Noah Toig, John Warren, and Harold Louis Yedvab. If I mispronounced your loved one's name, I'm sorry. I'll ask that you say it again, as well as including any names of those who you're thinking of at this time.
Lou Kubler, Charles Lay.
With all those names said out loud and in our hearts, I invite you to please rise and turn to page 294 as we join in the words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabbah, b'alma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei Shemei Rabba Mivarach Leolam Olmeo Maya Yitzbarach V'yishtabach V'yitzpoar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei Dekudesha Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Da'amiran Be'alma V'imru.
Amen.
Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru. Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru.
Amen.
Zichronam Livracha, may their memories forever be a blessing and a lesson for how we can live our lives. And let us say, Amen. You may be seated. I'd like to invite up Mike Shapiro, the president for a little bit longer of our congregation, to offer some words of welcome.
Shabbat Shalom. I want to thank Rabbi and Joyce and Stephen. Thank you again. Joyce, that was more like arrhythmia. Not that. I also want to thank our students and all the teachers. What a really nice service that was tonight. And I want to echo Rabbi Morrison and give a shout out to all the parents and grandparents who really encourage our kids to come to Sunday school. And I know it's not always an easy task, so thank you all for being the role models and being the parents and encouraging our kids to come to Sunday school. It means a lot. I also want to give a special shout out to Alexis Kelly. If you guys don't know Alexis, she is our religious school director and principal who's done, Alexis, you've done a great job. We're so grateful you are here and happy that you have come back home. So thank you again. There are a lot of activities coming up. You can read about them in the Shabbat Spotlight. I do want to just point out, too, next Friday night is a Shabbat experience catered by the boys. So if you want to come and have dinner, please make sure you RSVP so we have an accurate count. And the other announcement, I want to encourage everyone to come to our annual meeting on May 13th. It's a very important night in the life of the congregation. We ask folks to vote on the annual budget. We ask folks to vote on the slate of new board members. We also honor congruence with 2 special awards. And one of the things that I have a special vested interest in this year is that at this annual meeting, which is really important that you show up, which is really important that we have a quorum, it's really imperative that you be here because this year we get to elect a new Temple president. So please RSVP and show up at the annual meeting so I can go home. Shabbat Shalom.
I encourage everyone to place their fidgets back in the basket on your way out. The only way we can have them from week to week, this is for adults also, is to put them back into the basket. I have my own cow up here. I mean, we're all working on trying to keep our attention span. I do want to also invite you to join me tomorrow morning for Torah study and brunch. We have about 40 people signed up, which is about 10 less than normal, and I would love to have some more. This is a wonderful opportunity, especially if you've never studied Torah before. It is set up in a way in which it should be, I think, which is why I teach it, but that everybody's voice matters as loudly as the other person, including the rabbis of old and this rabbi as well. So I hope that you will join us tomorrow at 10 a.m. at Sterensis All-Purpose Room, which is down in the school. And if you haven't RSVP'd, I'm okay with that. We have enough food this week. I'm okay that you wouldn't RSVP. Don't do it again, but that's good. So we are going to conclude. I'd like to call up our students one more time as they lead us in Motzi, followed by the singing of Hine Matov.
We give thanks to God for bread.
Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat shalom. And we join in the singing of Hine Matov. Please rise. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. You guys ready? Here we go. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shabbat shalom. Great job, guys. Go get it.